Hello, good morning. Today is TryHard 9. I'm gonna run out of fingers. It's gonna be exciting. So, today, as you can tell, I've taken a casual look. I didn't mean to do this, which I will explain in a minute. Have you ever heard of a groutfit? Is this just a thing, the me thing? I think it's an everybody thing. Okay, so when I was in college, especially during finals week when things were very, very stressful, one does not care about one's opinion because one is just trying to not fail, right? Academics. So, my roommates and I, we kept accidentally wearing like gray tops and gray bottoms or whatever, and that's such a fashion faux pas, which quarantine time, who cares? But anyways, we would call it groutfits because they're kind of ugly, and grout sounds like trout, but it's a fit, it's an outfit, like you can wear it. So we call it a groutfit, a gray outfit. Miss Johnson, again, I've told you I'm struggling with the mornings. I accidentally changed into a gray outfit, a groutfit. Even though I know I make these videos every morning, so I don't know what I was thinking. So, look at this. I am rocking a groutfit, and it's gonna be okay because after this, I'm gonna exercise, so who am I gonna impress, right? It's groutfit, it's fine. But if you can wear a groutfit this weekend or something, or during the week, do it on a Tuesday, whatever you're feeling like, go for it. Go for a groutfit. Teach someone what a groutfit is. That's a fun fact for me. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know why, but every time I see my reflection, I feel like my bun is growing. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm also at the point of like, you know what, honey? You do you, I'm doing me. We're just gonna do it together. I thought I would share another humiliating Miss Johnson story because I feel like those get received pretty well and are quite entertaining. And usually at my own expense, so I really don't mind. Let's see what little, this time I wasn't so little, but I'm gonna still call myself Little Miss Johnson to make myself feel a little bit better. We're gonna talk about a very famous story in my household. I was recently asking my family members, I'm like, what are some really silly things I've done because I need to entertain children? You know, I'm bored. And immediately, my brother remembered this, probably because it was the most traumatic for him. So this is called, in my house, the toaster strudel story. And yes, it involves a toaster strudel, and it's pretty bad. So, in my family, morning times are hectic. Whose isn't? We're just trying to get to school on time and not make mom and dad late for work, right? It's very difficult. Especially when, you know, kids couldn't drive yet or anything like that. They had to haul all the children to all the places. So, my mother endorsed and loved using toaster strudels. Pillsbury toaster strudel. If you don't know what it is, check it out. It's like the better cousin of a Pop-Tart. It is amazing, okay? It's this beautiful flaky rectangle, and the insides, you can pick what you want. Household favorites in our house it was like strawberry or raspberry or cherry toaster strudel. And then they gave you like the frosting packets. So you could like draw a silly face if you wanted, or I went for the zigzag, very classic look. The other one, which is a household favorite, was like the breakfast toaster strudel where it was like eggs and bacon and cheese. Who doesn't want cheese? It was great. I loved them. But we found a perfect science to cooking these suckers because they were finicky as heck. Yeah, so it wasn't just, you know, the Pillsbury Doughboy makes it look real easy. He's just like, you just put it in a toaster. However, how does he look? Like when you poke him? That's such a weird mascot. Either way, you just think you need a toaster, but no, you don't. We have a family toaster, and we figured it out. You needed to, you have to turn the dial between 2 and 3. And then when it popped up, it looked perfect, done. It was crispy, it was brown, it was glorious. But, I don't know why, but since these things are frozen, the edges, if you took a bite, you're like, oh, I did it. But the center was always frozen like a little rock. It was annoying. But if you put it in the toaster again, you'd burn it. And no one wants burnt toaster. So, my family, we learned that you do it between 2 and 3, you put it in, pops out, you grab it, slap it on a plate, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's very important you hear this. 30 seconds. 31 seconds, it starts like popping out, like kind of like, it's not good. It starts spilling over and oozing out, and you want all the goodness to stay inside the pastry. 30 seconds is your perfect window. Everything's cooked, the crust is golden brown, and you've just made an excellent breakfast. Okay, that is the science behind this in our household, okay? Now, for some reason, when I was probably 12-ish, so about your age, mom trusted me enough to watch my brothers, my 2 little brothers, okay? God bless her, she wasn't thinking. So I'm watching my 2 little brothers, and mom was gonna go quick to like grocery store back, whatever. So naturally, as all big siblings, you don't want to babysit. You want to do your own thing, right? Ugh. And when you're babysitting your sibling, you like check in, make sure they're alive, you know. But you're also trying to like not fight with them because like your parents, the judges and the refs are not there. So you gotta keep the peace. It's a lot of responsibility. And honestly, with my track record, I don't know how mama thought it'll be okay, but she did. And it was one of those beginning times where I was like, I still gotta do good, you know? And so I don't know if I was playing Nintendo Wii or if I was watching television or if I was in the middle of something, but my little brother, the one who was in the belly during the Tic Tac escapade, he's like, Sissy, I want a toaster strudel, like really bad. I was like, oh, I'm in the middle of something, can't you see? And he's like, no, like I really want a toaster strudel. And I was like, you know what? I got this. I'm gonna make this a learning opportunity. You're gonna learn how to master the family craft, and I'm gonna keep doing what I wanna do. Great babysitting advice, correct? No, don't do this. So I ran through the science. I showed him, like, here's your toaster strudel. You go between 2 and 3, pop it down, pick it back up, then move it to the microwave. You see the microwave? Very important. 30 seconds, 3-0, start. Watch that guy, okay? Once it beeps, you're done, you're golden, it'll be great. And he was kind of nervous, but he was kind of excited. He's like, I can do this. And I'm like, you can do this. And really, I just wanted to get back to my thing because I was having a selfish moment. It's not good. Don't be me. Don't be Little Miss Johnson. So I teach him all these steps. And he, okay, listen. He was like 7. I'm gonna say 7 to make myself feel better. He felt like he could do this, and I felt like he could do this. We went through the steps. I thought it was good. So I went back to my basement. You know, I'm doing my thing. I kind of forgot about him. I'm like, he's fine. So I'm doing my thing, whatever I'm into at this point. And then all of a sudden I hear like scurrying and scamping, like somebody let a squirrel in my house. And I kind of paused a little bit and I was like, my family's weird. Doing my thing. And then I hear panic, like, and they scream, I'm like, that is not a squirrel. And so I go upstairs and my nostrils are just smacked with a horrible odor. And I'm just like, oh, what? I forgot about the toaster strudel. I'm just like, what is that? And then all of a sudden I see my little brother and he's panicking, he's freaking out. He's like, Sissy, I did it wrong. And I'm like, oh, like you burn it? Like bummer. And he's like, no, like I really did it wrong. And it's, listen, don't blame him. I will take the credit, brother. Everybody blames me anyway, so it's fine. I will take the credit. It'll be okay. So, my sweet little brother, he got to the toaster part. He did it, you know. He got it between the 2 and the 3, popped up, bring it up. What's the next step? Microwave. Those things are like little ticking time bombs. How are they a household item? My sweet little brother, it's 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds. That sweet little guy popped his little pastry in and hit the 0 too many times. I'm talking like 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes, okay? It was bad. And so he's just like pointing at the microwave and he's like, ah, and he's pointing at the microwave and he's like, ah. And I obviously know that I'm gonna die when mom gets home. I'm like, let's see what I'm working with. So I'm like, oi. I open that huge gulf of like black smoke pops out and I'm like, oh my goodness, never seen that before. And okay, for reference, toaster strudel's about the size of my hand, okay? But imagine if my hand was a perfect square, okay? That's a good toaster strudel. This guy shrunk to about the size of my palm and was black, okay? You would need a forensic scientist to come in and figure out what that was originally, okay? I just knew because I was a part of this escapade, this bad problem. So, toaster strudel became little black burnt brick. And the glass plate that we put in there had shattered, okay? Because the pure hotness of the toaster strudel and the sheer 30 minutes in a microwave did damage. So it like cracked and exploded and split. So I opened it and the cute little brother's just like, oh, we're dead, we're dead, we're dead, we're dead. I'm like, shh, shh, I know we're dead, but we gotta figure this out. We're gonna be fine, we're gonna be fine. And I'm like trying to think of all the things. And my eyes are like watering and he probably thinks I'm crying. It's just the smoke and the smell. And so at first I'm just like, what just happened here? And then I go into survivor mode of, I gotta hide the evidence. Because, when you make mistakes, you always try to hide it, but you shouldn't. You should ask for help. But little Miss Johnson, she's very good at making mistakes. So I'm like, I get into survivor mode. I'm like, this is what we gotta do. You get Clorox wipe. You do this. I'm gonna hide the evidence. So I throw it away. I throw the little burnt brick away and the glass plate away. And it still smells like something died in here. So I take out the trash. I voluntarily take out the trash. Again, to hide my own evidence, so it's not too good. I noticed that the odor is still so horrible because 30 minutes in a microwave. I don't know how my family has still accepted me. So we are all running around. We are working like a team. I think this experience brought us closer together. I think this was good for our family, but so we hide the evidence. We wipe down that microwave. We do everything. It's looking good, okay? It is looking pretty good. The odor, though. The odor is horrible. So I'm panicking. And then I think about when people burn food, they always open the windows. So I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. You open the doors, you open the windows, act like it's nothing. And we just start thinking our hands can just get rid of this odor. And we're swaying, we're doing a new dance craze, we're trying to get it out because Mama's coming home. We know it, I feel it in my gut. Mama's spidey senses, so she's probably like, they did something, and she's like driving home. I'm having a panic attack. She's like, come on, we can do it. We can't do it. So I am just acting like this, and then I hear the and the garage doors coming up. That's like the signal of panic. Everybody, whenever we hear the garage, we just start running around because we know we should have been cleaning. What have we been doing this whole time? So I'm like, shut the doors, act normal, it's be fine. So I left the window open because I gotta keep it, but I put the blinds down because I'm sneaky, because that's gonna help. And I'm like, just do something fun. He's like, what? I'm like, just sit down, it's fine. And so we're sitting there, I'm like, she won't even notice, it'll be okay. Like, look, we did such a good job, it's gonna be great. And he's like, he's nodding at me, but even his little brain's like, no, we're dead. And so then, Mama opens the door and there's a pause and I'm just like, for a second, like a mini second, I'm like, we did it. Like we did it, we got it. Like she's not, and then all of a sudden I hear, what did you do? And with those words, I went on to explain the escapade that occurred. And the odor was horrendous. It was horrible. She's like, why aren't you opening doors? I'm like, we were. I was just trying to hide it from you. And she's like, you can't hide nothing from me. And I'm like, you're right. I know. And your mama will find you and catch you every time. At least my mom does. She could be a detective part-time if she wants to. She's brilliant. I would not be surprised if I tried to blame the brother in that moment. But obviously, the blame went on to me because I was not a great babysitter that day. But reflecting, I think it was good for us. Did smell like burnt toaster strudel for a solid week and a half. And so every time my mom would just deeply inhale, I know she was mad. She'd just be like, and I'd be like, yup, I know, I did that. That's what I did. And then when I showed her the plate, she was just like, what did you do? So, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, very different end results, you know? we still, you know what, Mama still allowed us to cook toaster strudels, but I was basically my little brother's toaster strudel servant. And honestly, I was so scared that I like continued, because I'm like, don't let him touch a microwave because he's gonna, you know. So I was the expert chef for many years, and I take pride in that title, but really it was just like a punishment because I'm not, yep. So that was a great teaching experience, you know. Even when you teach someone something, you should probably supervise them when there's electronics involved. So yeah, if you have a toaster strudel, have one today. It's great. I prefer, okay, the fruity one's like a dessert, like a turnover kind of vibe. I prefer the breakfast. I like me the sausage or the bacon's probably number one. But yeah, that is the infamous toaster strudel story. And I think my brother knows it and loves it so much because he probably has like PTSD from me trying to teach him how to hide evidence at a young age. But yeah, I was sneaky little Miss Johnson. Whenever you make a mistake, just tell your mama. Just do it. She gonna find out. So why not have her help you? Then have her catch you. It never ends well. So that's a fun little tidbit for you. Today's one of my favorite days. It's a Wayside Day. Oh, I love this book. It makes me so happy. We recently read about Todd, who like dealt with robbers for the class. We learned about BB, who like could draw crazy fast, and we learned about Calvin, who had to deliver a note that didn't exist to a teacher that didn't exist to a level that didn't exist. Remember that? We were all Calvins that stressful day. We're gonna read 2 chapters. It's gonna be great. The first one, oops, I got hiccups. That would be very distracting if I kept having that, so I'm gonna calm it down for you. First chapter, we're gonna do 2 today, is Myron. Chapter 8, Myron. Myron had big ears. He was elected class president. The children in Mrs. Jewell's class expected him to be a good president. Other presidents were good speakers. Myron was even better. He was a good listener. But he had a problem. He didn't know what a class president was supposed to do, so he asked, "What am I supposed to do?" "It's a very difficult job," said Miss Jules. "But you can do it. You must turn the lights on every morning and turn them off at the end of the day." "What?" asked Myron. "As class president, you must learn to listen," said Miss Jules. "I'll repeat myself one more time. You must turn the lights on every morning." "I heard you the first time," said Myron. "It just doesn't sound like much of a job." "Why, it certainly is," said Mrs. Jules. "Without lights, I can't teach, and the children can't learn. Only you can give us that light. I think it is a very important job." "I guess so," said Myron. He wasn't convinced. "Here, let me show you how to work a light switch," said Mrs. Jules. "I already know how," said Myron. "I've been turning lights on and off all my life." "Very good," said Mrs. Jules. "You'll be a fine president." Myron wanted to be the best president ever, but it was such an easy job he thought that anybody could do it. When school let out that day, Myron stayed behind, turned out the lights by flicking them down. "Excellent," said Mrs. Jules. On his way home, Myron heard a horrible noise. First there was a loud screeching, then a sharp squeal, a roaring engine, and a very faint sound of a girl crying. Myron ran to see what happened. Dana was bent over in the middle of the road. "What's the matter?" asked Myron. "My dog, Pugsy, was hit by a car," Dana cried. "Who did it?" asked Myron. I don't know," Dana sobbed. "They sped away." "Well, that's not important," said Myron. "We've got to try to save Pugsy." Pugsy lay unconscious in the street. Myron carefully picked her up, and he carried her over 2 miles to the vet. Dana cried by his side. "Don't worry, Dana," said Myron. "She'll be all right." But he wasn't really so sure. He gave Pugsy to the vet and walked Dana home. Then he walked home himself. Dana was so upset that she forgot to thank him. Myron didn't mind. He thought that that was what being a class president was all about. The next morning before he got to school, Myron went over to Dana's house. Pugsy was there. She seemed all right. Dana petted her and Pugsy licked her face. "See, Myron, she's all right," said Dana. "The vet said that you brought her just in time." "Hi, Pugsy," said Myron as he patted her. Pugsy bit his hand. "Oh, I guess she doesn't know you," said Dana. "She was unconscious yesterday when you saved her life." Dana's mother put some medicine and a Band-Aid on Myron's hand. Then she drove the children to the school. They were late. They ran up the stairs to Mrs. Jewell's class. The room was completely dark. "It's about time you got here, Myron," said Mrs. Jewell. "We have no lights." "Why didn't somebody else turn them on?" asked Myron. "Because you are class president," said Mrs. Jewell. "Show Stephen how to work the lights. From now on, he will be the class president." Myron showed Stephen how to turn the lights on and flick them up and down. At the end of the day, Myron also showed him how to turn the lights off, and he flicked the switch down. After a week, Stephen finally caught on, and he became a very good president. The lights were on every day. Myron, who was only president for one day, was the best president in the history of Wayside School. It's just that nobody knew about it. Aw, poor Myron. But you know what? It's important to be kind and do the right thing, even if people don't see it or notice it, because that means you're doing it for the right reasons, right? So shout out to Myron, you did a great thing. This is a classic. Chapter 9, Maricela. Maricela liked ice cream. She was sweet and pretty and could beat up any boy in Mrs. Jewell's class. Everybody liked Maricela, except Kathy, but she didn't like anyone in Mrs. Jewell's class. Maricela, she only liked ice cream. Every day, Maricela brought an ice cream cone to school and kept it in her desk until lunchtime. For at first, she brought chocolate ice cream every day, but she soon grew tired of chocolate ice cream. So she started bringing vanilla, but she got tired of vanilla too. Then she tried strawberry, fudge ripple, butter pecan, pistachio, or burgundy cherry in that order. And then a terrible thing happened. Maricela got tired of ice cream. And by that time, her desk was a mess and everything, and it was sticky. Everybody liked Maricela, but Maricela didn't like anything. Mrs. Jewell hated to see Maricela unhappy. "I don't understand it, Mrs. Jewell," cried Maricela. "There just aren't any good flavors anymore." So Mrs. Jewell worked all night. The next day, she brought in a new flavor of ice cream for Maricela. It was Maricela flavored ice cream. "Everyone will like it," said Mrs. Jewell, "because everyone likes Maricela." "Here you are, Maricela," said Mrs. Jewell. "Maricela flavored ice cream." Everyone gathered around and Maricela tasted it. They hoped she'd like it. Maricela took a lick. "Well?" asked Mrs. Jewell. Maricela took another lick. "Well?" asked the class. "This ice cream has no taste," said Maricela. "It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste like anything at all." Mrs. Jewell was heartbroken. "Here, let me try it," said Todd. He tasted it. "You're crazy, Maricela," he said. "This is the best tasting ice cream I've ever eaten. Try some, Dee Dee." It's delicious," said Dee Dee. "It's so sweet and creamy." She passed it around the room. "Oh, it's so good," said Leslie. "I think it tastes terrible," said Kathy. "I don't understand it," said Maricela. "I don't taste a thing." Mrs. Jewell slapped herself in the face. "Oh, I've made a big mistake, Maricela. Of course you can't taste anything. It's Maricela flavored ice cream. It's the same taste you always taste when you're not tasting anything at all." So the next day, Mrs. Jewell brought in Joe flavored ice cream. Maricela liked it. So did everybody else. Joe thought it had no taste. Everyone liked Maricela. Maricela only liked Joe. The following day, Mrs. Jewell brought a Ron flavored ice cream. Ron thought it had no taste, but everyone else loved it. Everyone liked Maricela. Maricela only liked Joe and Ron. By the end of the month, Mrs. Jewell had brought in 27 new flavors to the classroom, one, of course, for each member of the class. Everyone liked Maricela, and Maricela liked everyone. They all tasted so good. All except Kathy. That is, Kathy flavored ice cream tasted a little bit like old bologna. Everyone still agreed that Maricela flavored ice cream was the best, except Maricela. She liked Todd ice cream the best. This turned out to be a problem. Every once in a while, Maricela would try to take a bite out of Todd's arm in order to get that very special flavor. That one's a fun one. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's TryHard Reading Corner. I hope you enjoyed my groutfit, and I hope you learned a valuable lesson about how to properly cook a toaster strudel from home. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're working hard and learning things. I miss you. I love you. I'm praying for you. Pray for me too. And, oh my word, I forgot to introduce our new guest. And he's the most important guest. It's a grand finale, okay? I give you Jesus. was looking at my wall and I'm like, something's missing. I'm like, Jesus is missing. And Jesus needs to help me with this quarantine-approved groutfit. So, this is a watercolor I did of Jesus. It's very abstract, so it's like a silhouette. So if you're like, where's Jesus? Here, I'm gonna drop something, but do you see it? Do you see? So like, there's his head and his body, and with his stripes we are healed. Good Lenten Jesus, right? So, yeah, welcome Jesus. Help me, Jesus, right? But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. I miss you.